Welcome to discuss a new topic, that is parasitic adaptations in helminths. So we'll discuss it one by one. What are the helminths and what are the parasitic adaptations? So first is the term helminths. This term helminths, it is derived from a Greek word, and meaning of the helminths, all the elongated animals which don't have any appendices are the helminths. So this word can not only goes for the platyhelminths, this word can goes for any animals which have elongated bodies and they don't have any appendages. Right? Now, what are the adaptations? How will you define the adaptation? Adaptations is nothing that is the fitness of an organism to live in its specific habitat or environment for their survival. That is adaptations. Now we are coming to the helminths. The helminths are restricted to three phyla of the animal kingdom. The first one is that is platyhelminths. The first one is platyhelminths. This one, and second is uh, nematohelminths. That is the nematodes, and third one is acanthocephla. That is thorny head. Here you can see in the figure number 1. This is the figure of the cystodes. They are ventrally flattened bodies, and well-known example is Taenia solium. And these are the examples of free-living turbularians, and you know the example of planaria. And last one is that is trematode, that is liver fluke, fistula hepatica. And fourth one is the thorny head uh, helminths. Their head, here you can see they have the thorns and spikes like structures, that is the spiny, that's why we used to call them spiny head worms. So today we are going to discuss only about the platyhelminthes adaptations. So these platyhelminthes, further they have three classes: turbularia, trematodes, and finally the cystodes. So we will talk about this one, we will talk about this one, and we will talk about this flatworms. Now, the morphological adaptations, how they are being meant for a good parasitic lives. The first thing that usually the locomotor organs, digestive organs, and sensory organs are totally being degenerated, mostly in case of platyhelminthes. But it's not true for all the helminths. Locomotor organs, they because they don't require these locomotor organs, because they are getting the prepared food from their host, they don't require it. But their free living stages, they have some locomotor organs, as in case of, for example, here in this figure you can see the egg. From egg it comes to the meracidium. Here you can see the minute ciliary structures, because it is a free living stage of these parasites. It lives in the fresh water, so it has the locomotor organ cilia. And when it moves to the next stage, that is the sporocyst, then it totally the locomotor organs are being disintegrated. When we are coming to the next sporocyst too, that is Cercaria larva. Again, here you can see it have a fork tail like structures. So it's not true that, but their free living stages they have the locomotory organs just to find out their food. And when it converts into the adult parasites, that is, this is the structure of hematobium, cystosoma hematobium. Both male and females are living together. That is, this one is the female and this is the body of, you can see the female living inside the body of the male. Now the digestive system, as I've told, it is totally disintegrated, but their intestine is well branched. Just so many branches because it needs digested food. It takes digested food from the host body, so it needs so many branches. Sensory organs, the trematodes, the sense organs are totally absent, but they are being provided with some senses, that is the tango receptor touching organs. And they have the bulb-like endings, things and to touch the pressure and pH where in the medium where they are living. Nervous system of the trematodes is of central nervous system. They have the ganglionic structures, and they have parasympathetic nervous system also being spread out from head region to all over their bodies. Circulatory, the main function of the circulatory system to transport the nutrients, and so they don't need it, and hence the circulatory system is totally absent in case of parasites. They take the digested food, so they don't require it. This is the structure of free living turbularians, that is the planaria. Here you can see these are the ganglionic structures. Here you can see these are the ganglionic structures, and these ganglionic structures are spread out throughout the body, that is the nervous system. And they have the excretory system. In case of platyhelminthes, is flame cells, which excrete out through the pores located throughout the body of the parasites. And this is the structure of the flame cells. Now that their body form is again a good work as a good advantages for the parasitic lives. As you know, all the pretty helminthes, they have the flattened bodies and elongated bodies, and they don't have appendices. So the body form, flattened body form, elongated, but also internally flattened, or the roundworms, they all, this is the advantages stage for, to live as a parasitic lives. Another advantage they have, that is the outer covering of their body, that is cuticle, or you may call it the tegument. And these cuticle in the tegument, it is so hard, it is so tough that it cannot be affected by the digestive enzymes released inside the host body. And further, they have some ridges like structures. Here you can see these are the ridges. Here you can see these are the ridges, to which we call the microtriches, and they help them to attest with the body of the parasites, and they help them to give more space for the absorption from the host body. Now, another reason in case of platyhelminthes are the attachment organs. In case of trematodes, they have the acetabula. Here you can see the structure of this is the acetabula structures, and they have the suckers and these reproductive organs and the oral suckers also. But in case of cystodes, they have four suckers, two lateral, these are the two suckers, these are the two laterals, one dorsal and ventral, and further they have the hook-like structures, the hooks. Here are the hooks, you can see these are the hooks. They are being embedded inside the host mucosa just to get more food and easily. But in case of pseudophyllidians, cystodes which are being found in few fishes, they have a spoon-like head, that is this one. Here you can see, and they have the midridges, that is known as bothria. So these are the adaptive organs, attachment organs found in all the platyhelminthes, which help them to live a good life as a parasite. Another reproduction, it is in a very advanced form and very well developed. In case of cystodes, 90% of the available space of the body is occupied by the reproductive organs. Here you can see in image number 1, these minute spots. Here you can see these spots. All these are the reproductive organs, and usually they are found in the set form, a double set in a single segments, and the glottids are being mature, immature, and gravid glottids. And a gravid glottid is totally filled by thousands of eggs, thousands of eggs. So they are there are advanced form, and they have a well developed reproductive system. And another thing is that mostly all the platyhelminths, they are hermaphrodite, means both the sexes are present in a one organism. And that how it is being advantageous, there is no need to find out their mate for the reproduction, because both the sexes are present in the same organism, except in case of cystosoma, where male and female are separate, but the male female organism live inside the body of the male parasites, as you've seen in earlier slides. Now, the mature plugrid, I told, release thousands of eggs, but in case of cystodes, as a trematode, it releases out 10,000 eggs. Simple, if you take the example of a fistula hepatica, that is the sporocyst, don't have any locomotory organs. One sporocyst can release out 5 to 8 redia larvae. This is the structure of redia larva. So one redia larva releases out 5 to 8 sporocyst, 5 to 8 redia larva. And one redia larva releases out, that is 14 to 20 cercaria. So this redia releases out 14 to 20 cercarian larvae, and one sporocyst, as I mentioned, that is the round structures of the sporocyst, and this releases out 5 to 8 redia larvae. So you can understand that reproductive system is how advanced or they are how active. And if a hydrated cyst formed by a cystoid, that is a Echinococcus granulaceus, then it releases out contains thousands of scoliosis in one cyst. Now we are coming to the physiological adaptations. As I have told you, their outer covering and document or the this cuticle that is releases the anti-enzymes to neutralize the digestive enzymes of the host Lyme cells in the body, hence they are capable to live inside the intestine or they are not affected by the host enzymes. We can digest the protein. If we eat the protein, that is the chicken and so on, we can digest it. But the our if the parasite is inside the intestine, they remain unaffected because they are released some kinds of anti-enzymes which neutralizes the protein splitting enzymes. And another good thing is that they are so tolerant against the pH. They can live in the acidic medium also, in neutral as well as in the basic medium. So their tolerance of the pH is 4 to 11. Another advantage is position for the parasites that they can live very well without any oxygen. It means all are the anaerobics. Now we're coming to the osmoregulation, that how they face the pressure of our internal bodies. So the osmotic pressure of the body fluids of all the parasites, especially in case of trematodes, is usually the same as in case of our body. So there is no change. They are not harmed by the osmotic pressures. There is no osmosis or occurs because they have the similar osmotic pressures. Whereas in case of cystodes, they have some higher osmotic pressure than our body, and it allows them to absorb more food from our body. As you know, the against the concentration gradients, the food moves from higher to lower concentration. Now, one more very interesting features has been seen in case of endoparasites of frogs. This parasite, that is Polystoma integrum, it utilizes the host hormone. Whenever a frog reproduces their eggs, at the same time this parasite, it releases out their eggs. So it uses the hormones of their host. So it is a very unusual feature and a very unique feature of these trematodes. So that's all about the parasitic adaptations in case of platyhelminthes.